Hello everyone and welcome to this new video. I'm Ishtrall, I'm the community manager for War Armies and I'm joined by Elio, our production director.
Hey guys.
So, it's been a long time since we've been asked, but it's finally time to answer some questions from the community.
Let's do it.
So, Elio, one of the first questions I'm going to ask you is actually a question I've been asked every single day. It's what are you going to do regarding the matchmaking system? A couple of players seem to think that it's quite unbalanced and they want to answer it.
Fair enough. It's always a bit hard, to be honest, to offer a fair matchmaking, but at the same time, like motivating enough. And not sometimes we have bots, we don't want you to play too much versus bot. We have like most of our matches played against players, but we want to keep that, so it's a tricky balance. And we have quite a few parameters that impact that. At the moment, we have one thing on the roadmap, and it's a bit tricky because we want you, to feel that if you invest, in your deck, etc., we want you to feel a bit of power level, increase. At the same time, we are RTS, so we're working with two conflicting, let's say, principles, game design principles here. So we're RTS, but with a progression. What we're thinking is that maybe that progression, we want it to be enticing. We want it to feel like a long-term investment, in your unit, in your deck, in your nation. But at the same time, maybe there is some part of this progression that's impacting the power level a little bit too much. So we're like, for this year, we're checking two things potentially. One thing is the power level difference between the levels of a unit. As you know, like a year and a half almost ago, now we nerfed the sub-levels. So before, actually, there was even more increase from one level to another. So we nerfed all the sub-levels. So actually, like, if you have a difference now of one level, it's actually just one level. Before, it felt almost like 4 levels because all the sub-levels were applying, actually, exponential formulas into the power of the unit. So we nuked it by quite a lot. There's still a difference. We may reduce that a little bit further. We're looking into that, basically. So because again, like there's two ways to look at it, right? So like, do you want to play versus players most of the time and quite fast, So we want our matchmaking to be snappy and to matchmake you with another player. But like, it's not like it's very easy to find another player with the exact same deck as you. Like that's not. I wish it was that easy. It would be easier for us, But if you want a real player, there's going to be a lot of difference that we need to take into account. So one of the things, if we reduce that power level difference between the levels, then actually we can even increase almost, that range of players to play with. And it doesn't matter that much if you're level 7 to 9, 10, like you can actually take them on if you play cleverly. If you use your tank rotation at the right time, if you avoid one shot, you can actually take that unit. So we're thinking about that direction. That's one of the things. And the other thing is the unit skills. We want them to impact quite a lot, and they're impactful at the moment. We're looking at some ways to make unit skills still strong, but alter the behavior a little bit. Like, for example, with the global cooldown recovery time. That's what we're looking at, to be like, it's going to be a bit hard, to go and tweak all the values because it's a lot of investments as well for the players. But yeah, we're looking at maybe something like GCD to give the players a way to, like feel it's more balanced, You have a recovery, you have a skill that activates, and next time it activates can only be after X amount of time. So that's the two things that we're looking at, but it's a very hard topic, guys. Like I wish it was much easier to address. Like if we have the option to either match you versus a player or finding the exact right player for you, but that player is going to log in, like how many times per day, then you're going to play a lot versus bot, and you're going to be unhappy if you play versus bot. It's a hard balance, basically.
Yeah, definitely. Our dev team is struggling sometimes when they see, the kind of comments you guys are sharing, like, yeah, matchmaking system. Yes, it's complicated, guys. Anyway, thanks for your answer, Elio. Let's move on to another question. So actually, you mentioned skill points, and I've got another question regarding that. Are you planning to add a special event to reassign skill points? A lot of players are asking, yeah, I did spend a lot of skill points on this skill, and in the end, not to my liking, so...
It's a bit tricky for the skill points, We want them to be big commitments in terms of unit investments. And we have new features that are going to help gathering more in the future. So we give them away, in events, etc. And we're going to keep on doing that. We have actually quite big features in a few months that's going to come. And I think we're probably going to give some away in these features. Let's say it's possible. It's not on the roadmap yet, but it's possible that we have, recycle feature that appear at some point and gives back, I don't know, 60% or 75%, X%. Don't quote me on that. I should have said X% from the beginning, right?
They will
but it's possible.
Quote you on that, and I will get. Elio said that in this video.
Possible, not on the roadmap. Could be an event or a permanent feature. I don't know yet. But yeah, we want you to feel like you can experiment as well.
Let's move to another question then. Another question, and this time it's regarding units. When will we release new non-legendary and mythic units? Some players are afraid we're going to release like hundreds of mythic units, and just the regular guys are going to be forgotten.
Okay, fair enough. Well, the very quick answer is this month. So boom, done. But to give a little bit more mic drop, this month we already have units that are not legendary coming up for the UK. For the long term, we will have, the plan is by the end of the year for all the existing nation to be at 20 units, and that includes, of course, units that are not legendary added, especially to Japan and UK. So we have quite a lot of units for these two nations that are going to come that are not at the highest rarity.
Another question, I think this one was coming from the advisors. I have a name in mind, but I'm not sure if it's him, so I will just, I will tag him in the comments if that was him actually. The question was regarding game modes. Some players have been asking for some, new game modes, special ones like using only infantry, using only tanks. But it's just one part of what they were asking for, because the second part is something that has been, discussed a lot between the players. It's the replay function, match history, and clans. Are we planning on adding this?
For the replays, to be honest, not yet. Maybe next year, but I don't think this year we're going to be able to give that, with the match history. I appreciate that it's quite important. Sometimes you want to actually check the match, understand your mistakes or your MVP plays, and that's fair enough. At the moment, it's going to be a bit hard for us to work on that. It's going to be positive and negative in my answer, Ishtrall, on that one. For the clans, yes, I think, to be honest with you guys, and I think I may have said it before, we worked on it actually last year, and we were hoping to deliver, but I think we went with a scope that was a bit too big. It was a bit too ambitious, I think, what we wanted to do. I think we're going to start a bit smaller, and I think we're going to, within 12 months, and I hope quite before that, I hope by the end of the year, you will have the first version of Clan. I'm not certain, but let's say around that time, I'd like us to have a first version of Clan, which will be a bit scaled down, but that will be quite interesting. Other parts about the customizable custom modes, yes. So it's actually it goes back, right, a bit into the matchmaking system and the power level difference, etc. We're thinking about that a little bit more. Only problem that I see is that I don't see a lot of players using our custom modes, and I know that the main complaint is that there's not enough, parameters that can be selected, etc. We're thinking seriously about having a mode where all the units are level 5, let's say, or we have default parameters. I don't know how much we will let the players customize them, but let's say it would be a way to experience the pure RTS experience without any of the progression system that we have in the game, that I can tell you. The thing that I can tease a little bit about is that we have a new big game mode, which is actually quite big, to be honest with you. That's going to come within 3 or 4 updates if all goes well. We're starting working on it. We hope that's going to offer, another way to play PvA, and I hope it's going to make players really excited. As for anything that's pure infantry mode, pure tank mode, etc., I'm not sure. Maybe let's see. Maybe we'll just filter. It's just if some of the conditions sound easy, but actually when you start implementing them, it requires a lot of UI, a lot of deck restriction. It's actually sometimes it just doesn't feel, is it really worth it, for us to spend actually 1 or 2 weeks on making the pure infantry mode, or we do actually battle emojis, or we do something else like that I'm teasing again. I hope a lot of people are going to watch that because they can get a lot of information about what's coming. But it's we have sometimes bear with me that this year and next year we're going to do quite a bit of things. The first version will be a little bit more bare bone, but you're going to be able to do something cool with it, And I think that's a mistake that we did in the past, where we took things bigger than we could chew. and in the end, we didn't deliver some of them.
I think we did mention in the team, I think I shared something back regarding the what if mode, and I did give an answer to the communities, like, if you guys really want it, just, you have to make yourself heard, just show that you want this mode, and sure, we can actually put it back. So you know what you've got to do in the comments of this video. You just spam, we want it. Okay, thanks Elio for the answer, and let's go to another one. Oh, so this question, it's mostly, I think, from the guys at the top of the leaderboard, just asking, are you planning on tweaking the ranks and the personal rating system? Wink, wink, I want to show that I'm the best, wink.
Fair enough. So the rankings, not yet. We're thinking about it here and then, and I agree that at some point, it requires months and months, not year, to actually change your ranking, which sounds a little bit long, obviously. But I'm not sure if we're going to touch that yet. The one thing that we're doing, though, this month, actually, and maybe by the time you watch that video, it's going to be live, is that we're adding a lot of visibility on global leaderboard, nation leaderboard. You'll be able to check the previous season leaderboard. So what we find cool, with our events, etc., is that, and seasons, for example, is that they provide the leaderboard, but it's for a set amount of time. So what we're changing with this global leaderboard, as we call them, is that it's static, So it's actually it will be there at all time. So if you play it, and if you're first of your nation, in a couple of days, everybody will see it. And that's going to be quite cool, I think.
So you will be able to brag even more. I think of a few players that will just try to dominate some nation leaderboard. You will recognize yourself. So anyway, I think we are near the end of the questions. I think we've got only 2, so let's go for another one. One of the last question is, do you plan to invest in the faction identity and cosmetics? The pillboxes, the buildings on each side for each nation.
Yeah, that's a fair topic. Since the arrival of Japan, we lowered a little bit the faction identity with the buildings because we made them more harmonized, let's say, across all the factions. We felt like it was more important to spend time on the units than creating all these extra buildings every time we wanted to add a nation. It's a tricky one. Cosmetics, etc. Cosmetics are interesting in VVA, but actually, some games are more driven by cosmetic, in terms of monetization, in terms of engagement, than we are. We even tried really hard, with the legendary skins, etc. But we still not see the same engagement that we should have technically. I think it's because you have a lot of units, you have full army. All that to say, for the buildings, I don't think so for the moment, but I get the point. I think there's a couple of different things that we could do. We could do the building. We could do something with the lobby, to make it feel a little bit more you played that season, so you get this lobby style, etc. for this faction. So we keep on thinking about it. I don't have a solution for it now. I'm not sure if we're going to go back to all the different buildings per nation. It's possible we do a bit of a refresh of the buildings, at some point, but I think it's unlikely it's going to be per nation. However, we want to offer maybe other ways for you to feel this is your nation, this feels a bit more cozy. So again, maybe with stuff like the lobby, etc., that we may tweak next year or something like that.
Okay, thanks. I guess it was also a question regarding some, special units. Yeah, I see you in the chat telling me we want another skin for sniper. No, guys, stop with that. It's not cool. Anyway.
Well, we may have UK nurses coming to the game. We never know.
That would be a little bit weird, but we will see. And the last question, I think it was from a couple of our veteran players. It's regarding the rewards. Some of the games give yearly gift, special offers, or even events to show that, these loyal players are actually, we love them. We want to shower them with gift. So are we planning on introducing something similar to World War Army?
Yes, to an extent. We have quite a big celebration coming this month, actually, right? At the end of the month, we'll be celebrating the 4th year of World War Armies being live, which is quite a big milestone. 10 million players. I don't know. We're so thankful, guys. It's amazing. It's great to be working on this game, 10 million player game. There's not that many. There's a lot, but there's not that many at the same time. So we're really happy to be working on these games for you. So we're going to be showering you with quite a bit of gifts for this year, for special offers and events for sure. So we're going to push a little bit the envelope on the yearly, on the anniversary part. And yeah, I think it's going to be quite cool. In terms of a scheme of loyalty, very long term, not yet, but I think we're thinking about it. There's parts of it in the web store, right, where you can actually, for the longer you are, the more you get reward, etc. For the game, maybe it's going to come at some point. But the thing that's sure is that 4th anniversary is coming, and that's going to be quite cool. Yeah. I think it's going to make a lot of players happy.
Yeah, it's going to be really special. And just to remind players, because Elio, you mentioned something. Yeah, on our web shop. So, you go to www.a.hub, etc. I will just, put the link in the description. You've got our web shop and you've got the loyalty program. So you spend some money and you get some stuff back. So just check it, you will see. You will get a lot of discounts, and on a daily basis, you get some free stuff. So don't forget to check it. Well, I think that's it, Elio. I think you teased quite a lot of things, and I will be completely grilled by the community once this video is out. So thank you for that. And a lot of things are coming in terms of community events as well. The 4th year anniversary and the 10 million celebration will be quite the stuff. So we hope you will enjoy. We hope you enjoyed this video. Elio, again, thank you for your time and for, saying all these things to our player. And I will just give you the final words.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for playing the game. And Commanders, see you on the battlefield.
See you.